You're listening to the Night Demon Network. Go to nightdemon.net/subscriber to unlock more exclusive content.
Hello, and welcome to the Night Demon Heavy Metal Podcast. I'm your host, Nesbit, and this week we have part 2 of Jarvis's interview with Russ Tippins and Cindy Maynard of Tanith. Some great conversation in here about Tanith and music in general. Hope you enjoy.
You're from Newcastle in the north of England, and you're from California to Florida to New York, and you're just you're very you're American, and it's like when you think of like your childhood selves, just going like, oh, I'm gonna go to England and play in this band, and then you know what? And then Russ is like thinking, yeah, I'm gonna go start a band in New York. You know what I mean? And you guys just did it. Like you just did it. Like it wasn't even like a thing. You just all right.
It's crazy if you look at it that way. Like really crazy.
That's like no matter where you get with it. I mean, because we can't control the results of any of the art that we make. Once we put it out into the public, it's not even ours anymore.
Yeah.
But just the fact of actually doing it, and having the courage to do it and do stuff like that, across the pond and back, I mean, that's the dream right there, right? You know, that's an amazing thing that most people in the world, if you just a concept of that would just be too much for them to even go, well, how do I even start doing that?
Yeah. I think the thing is when you're doing it, you're not thinking about it in that way. It's just happening.
Right.
Like I never even thought I would go to England.
Yeah.
Like it was never like on my bucket list of countries to visit. Like when you're thinking of like traveling the world, like, oh, I want to go to Africa and I want to go, all these super exotic places. Like, do I need to go to England? I don't know if I need to go to England. I've been to England so many times now.
Right. when I was growing up, I mean, that was like the promised land for us, because being so into rock and
with
metal,
the music,
I would read about Russ and these guys in old magazines, and just trying to get the music was hard then, and it was like that's where you had to go, like that's where all this great music came from, and it's funny because a lot of people out there really like American music. It's kind of vice versa. But when you talk about rock and metal, it's really all about England.
Yes, for sure.
And I don't know if people over there really realize it, especially now. There's a resurgence of American music. The most popular music in England, rock-wise, is like American pop punk and like new metal. And for us, it was like, we look at it like, oh, that was a kind of embarrassing era for us,
Right.
But I don't think a lot of people realize. It's like, think about
Someone should tell them.
But think about American bands. Think about American bands, like American rock bands, like the kings of the genre. Like, there's not many.
Yeah.
Like, there's really not many when you think about, like, you could think of, like, who's the biggest British band of all time. You're like, wow, okay, Beatles, right? Stones, Zeppelin, Sabbath. Like you
Easy.
go down the list. In America, I was thinking about it the other day. I'm like, the Beach Boys?
For rock?
Aerosmith, the Beach Boys?
Aerosmith and Van Halen.
Yeah, Van Halen. But Van Halen never, they were a U.S. band. They rarely went to Europe. Very, very, very rarely in their entire career. It was very seldom that they did that.
Interesting.
You know, they went to Japan and stuff like that, but they're not big in Europe. Like they were not a household name. They were not on the radio like they were out here.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Van Halen were huge in England, but I think the venues just weren't big enough.
Yeah.
They could to rake in what they could do by playing one arena in the US. They'd have to probably do 3 shows in England to make the same amount of money.
That is an interesting thing about England and they've definitely built some arenas and stadiums in the last years for sure. But especially in mainland Europe, you know, like we toured with Accept, and they're like, man, like we've been playing this hall for 35 years. You know, like there's the soccer stadium, and then there's no mid-level there, you know what I mean? And then it's like a big theater or a big hall, and then the small clubs, right? So that infrastructure hasn't really changed a lot. And just much like in England, or in Newcastle, you guys have City Hall, which has been around forever. And who's played at City Hall, right? Like everybody. Arena band that you've ever heard of, right? Like they've played there, you know? And, you know, it's like, it's still around. It's still there. You know, it's still going. And I've seen some bands play there, and you would consider that an underplay for some bands, you know? Obviously, it's sold out because they could sell twice as many tickets.
Right.
You know?
It is realistically, it's a small venue.
Yeah.
Town hall.
Right. But so, all right. So you guys, you've got the band. It's together now. How do you come up with the name Tanith? Because having a band name, like picking a band name is the worst.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
It's so hard.
Yeah.
We were just trying to come up with something that fit what we were doing, and
we had some great ideas.
Well, Russ came up with another idea.
Shall I say it?
Yeah. What was it again?
Dove Hammer.
He was like,
Hammer?
"What about Dove Hammer?" And I just burst out laughing.
This was like
Dove Hammer.
a combination of the
soft and the
rock
heavy.
and the hard rock. No, Dove.
Yeah.
I was like,
it could be.
What else you got?
It could be a Christian rock band too.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So, we're both into old movies, especially Hammer.
Hammer horror.
Hammer horror. The Devil Rides Out.
Oh, great!
The
Christopher
lead
Lee.
female character is
Yeah.
called Tanith.
Oh, that's right.
And it's
Tanith.
Tanith,
Tanith.
I summon thee.
Yes. God, that scene where they're driving and they throw when the Baphomet is in the.
Yeah, they launch the.
Yeah. Oh man, like that's a great film.
We throw the water. Yeah.
I highly recommend that for anybody.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it.
Devil Rides Out is
Christopher Lee is
wonderful. But
voice.
you can pick 50 Christopher Lee movies out of the Hammer collection, right? You know what I mean? And there are some good ones, but a lot of them are kind of factory farmed, you know, right?
Yeah.
It's like put Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee in a movie and let's make it, right? You know? But that I love the occult aspects of that film. I think it still holds up today. It's not what you would think of Hammer in general. It's not about monsters and like there's some real kind of evil, like real scary shit in that film.
Yeah, I love that movie.
The movie was just an adaptation of the book, the novel by Dennis Wheatley. So,
it is a Wheatley novel. Another guy who has 1 million books.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, obviously, the character names are from the book, too. So, we all are named Tanith.
That is so interesting. So, we
owe that to Dennis Wheatley.
You didn't know that?
I never knew that.
Oh, wow.
And the funny thing is, with Night Demon, our very first piece of art, when we started the band, I got from a cover of a book with the title Tanith.
No way.
Yes. And
oh wow!
And it's we licensed it from the artist. It was like a 70s occult novel, and it's still to this day one of our like most known pieces of art. We still sell T-shirts with this artwork on it, which led me down to another rabbit hole because I wrote a book. Or sorry, I wrote a song.
I was like, you wrote a book?
Yeah. Well, I did. Well, that's good. I wrote a song called "Save Me Now" that's based on the story of that Tanith. It's a witchcraft story. But that led me down this other rabbit hole, right? And then I found this British author, Tanith Lee.
Tanith Lee, yeah.
Yeah, and she wrote a book called "Killing the Dead," which I wrote a song Dawn Rider about. So I started reading her stuff, right?
Oh.
So there's this whole weird Tanith thing. It's like, and I wonder now, is this anybody's real name? Has anybody ever really had that name? Like, I wonder even Tanith Lee, is that really her name?
Some people have written on our page to say that their name's Tanith, and...
when were they born?
Yeah, that I don't know. Yeah.
And like, is there I never looked up the name origins. Is there because some names have...
It's a Phoenician goddess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, that's why I thought it fit the band, because it was like
a
Phoenician goddess who was like something with like warfare and fertility or something like that. So she was like this powerful, fertile goddess.
Okay.
And I was like, yeah, that's cool. That's badass.
There you go. There you go.
She could probably rock.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
All right. So we have a band now, and you guys record your first single.
Yeah, which we had a demo, but I think the first time we ever actually all played it together was in the studio with tape rolling.
Really?
The very first take.
This is the coolest thing about it.
Yeah.
And at that point, we'd asked Keith to do it.
Right.
On a session basis. We were paying him to help us in the studio. And he's like, yeah, I just want to clarify up front. I'm not a metal drummer. I don't do, quad fills, double bass drum, nothing like that.
Right.
I'm like, cool. We just want to, cool drum beat. So, he turned up at the studio. Me and Cindy had already met. Charlie had not met him before, so they were like shaking hands. Like,
that's amazing.
How do you do?
Yeah.
But
we'd never played with Keith. We had just heard him at the barbecue restaurant.
We hadn't rehearsed anything. We just sent Keith the demo, which I did at home with the drum machine. Anyway, so setting up, guy in the studio, he's got us all ready to go. He's like, he's got the levels, he's got the input. Do you want to try something? Just kind of get comfortable with each other. Yeah, so roll the tape, start the song.
And we're actually rolling tape here.
Yeah,
we're rolling tape.
Like
the song.
It's not digital recording.
It's on the tape.
It's an analog tape recording.
2-inch tape, yeah.
And we're playing, everything's mic'd up, and it's a live band in a room.
And the first time we've ever played this song together.
Or play together at all.
Yeah, at all.
Yeah, no.
The four of us ever at all. Yeah. And that's the drum take and the bass take.
Really?
Yeah.
And basically, most of the guitars too. Well, me and Charlie had to fix some of the guitar lines, but we just kept playing because it was going well and made it to the end of the song.
What studio is this?
Excello.
Excello up at Greenpoint.
Greenpoint, Brooklyn. Yeah. Not far from where we are now.
Yeah.
24 track.
Amazing. Yeah. I mean, that's what else do you need,
tape
right?
machine mixed down onto.
You want to play classic rock inspired music? I mean, that's the way to do it, right?
Yeah,
Do it live to tape, But that song came out great, and like, I mean, what can I say? Like that's kind of what started the whole thing, for.
Yeah, that I guess it kind of there was an underground buzz
big time
around.
Yeah, we pressed 500 copies of the single.
7-inch single.
Yeah. And there was a cassette as well.
That was later.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, there was definitely an underground buzz, big time, because people, people are a fan of Russ's work with Satan, and that's kind of, it always helps when you have somebody that kind of has a name out there, to do that, There's always, I'm not against any nepotism, so, but, that really did, like, get the word out to the underground metal scene, right? And it's kind of funny because, like, rock, there's so much, like, Blue Oyster Cult is basically, like, they have, now at this point in their career, right, they have two sets of fans. Old fans that listen to the radio, that go to one concert a year, and metalheads.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, or just like a band like Ashbury, they come out after decades in retirement. They basically sound like Jethro Tull. And 99.9% of their fans is the heavy metal underground.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like the heavy metal fans have embraced a more classic rock that's not, the overbearing rock star kind of feel, right? Like songs that have a really deep feeling to them, and that still rock and kick ass and have some guitar harmonies, and there's like this line between like Thin Lizzy and Blue Oyster Cult, right? Where like you guys are the type of band that fits in perfectly with that. You know what I mean? And okay, the imagery and the subject matter, that doesn't hurt. You know what I mean, right? If you can get mystical about it, it makes it more metal. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right? Instead of a song about a car.
Slow horses and fast women.
Right. So it's kind of funny because that's like, you kind of just end up with your audience or your demographic, you don't even really have a choice sometimes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's good that at least there is a place for it. You know what I mean? Because sometimes if, like, let's say you don't have Russ in the band, or you don't know anybody in that scene or any scene, you're just kind of out there, and you don't really know where to put the music, like who's gonna really get behind this,
Right. It's just gonna be one of like a gazillion releases on
exactly, so
I look at bands typically, who they're looking for Satan. They're all great. And I just think, how hard must it be to be starting a band right now? To be putting everything into writing songs, because getting good, and they've pretty much all got it down. But how can they possibly rise above the clamor of a million other bands who are all as good? It's just, I really feel for them. It's just
I do too. And even like with our band, we started late, we didn't start really playing live till 2013, and I guess perseverance, 900 gigs since then. But like, I don't know if it's again, the luck, right? Put yourself on the side of luck.
Well, what you said about earlier about showing up.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a big part of it.
Yeah, it really is.
You were there.
It really is, yeah.
Doing the rounds.
It really is. But I don't know, Russ, I think that, I hate to discourage people from doing it, because if you're willing to put the work in, you'll get somewhere with it.
Yeah.
But I think everybody should try if they feel like it's inside of them. You know what I mean? I think that's the cause for all the anger in the world and the harshness on social media and stuff. Every time I see that stuff, I just kind of think, man, that person's really not following their dreams.
Mm.
You know what I mean? I think people that are following their passions, they don't react like that. You know what I mean? I think they're being held back by something within. They're not fully realized, and I think that's really frustrating.
It's overwhelming, that kind of thing that you just described. I mean, I'm off social media now because I got tired of switching my phone on and just seeing some huge rant about something, and then I can't unsee it.
But I do agree that I think that everyone, it doesn't even matter if you're a musician or an actual artist who makes visual art, everybody should have a creative outlet of some sort, a way to express what is inside them.
Absolutely.
It's so important to find what that is.
And there's creativity in everything. I mean, there's creativity in business. But when you're working for a big corporation and you hate your boss and all this stuff, it's I feel like those and you're not getting paid what you think you deserve, and your life situation sucks, and you're too afraid to take the risk to go and really follow your passion because it's too hard, and we live in such a comfortable society. Mm-hmm. I've said it a lot. There's two kinds of pain. There's the pain of being uncomfortable and going through the obstacles of life to get what you want out of it, and there's the pain of not doing it, being comfortable, and paying heavy price for it later in regret. And just like your health, if you're not looking after your health a little bit every day, one day it will take 100% of your attention. So but yeah, I mean, that's so for newer artists, I just feel like if it's in you and it's tugging at you every day,
gotta get it out.
You have to do it. You have, no matter how difficult it is. No matter how difficult it is. It's always going to be hard. I mean, look, you could put it, Russ, I mean, even in the 80s when Satan was doing stuff, it's me managing the band, I'm still dealing with stuff from the 80s from you guys. And it wasn't easy. There's contracts that are the worst things I've ever seen. There's no money going around then either. Plus, there was such a barrier to entry then, Mm-hmm. You had to have a record label. If you didn't, there was no way you would ever get an album out. It'd be very hard, and you would be broke by doing it, and you'd be able to circulate it to the people in a 30-mile radius. So there is a lot of the gates are open now. The monetization is lower, but in my mind, that's good. It's gotten a lot of evil people out of the entertainment industry. They were always in it for the money, and now that there's no money in it, they're going to other avenues, So, so the power has come back to the artist, which is nice, and there's still a lot of good people out there, but you just have to find a way to cut through the noise, And
that's exactly it.
I think though that a lot of it has to do with, man, you got to really love it. You got to really enjoy it, get some self-satisfaction out of it,
Yeah.
Because I'm so wrapped up in the business end of things, I'm burnt, But I was on the plane coming out here today, and I was listening to some riffs that I wrote, a week ago, and I was like, man, this is so cool. I was just coming back to the
Remember writing music?
Yeah. But no, the artist side of it, I got inspired again just by something that, it's just a recording of me on my phone for me. It had nothing to do, this is not in the public. I'm not hearing in my head, oh, how are people going to react when they hear the finished product of this?
Oh, you can't be thinking about that.
Yeah, no.
When you're writing.
But I know how I'm going to feel about it, right? So, Okay, so you guys are now God, what are we, 2 albums in?
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 full lengths out now. You guys have done some touring. You guys have toured Europe.
We did a few tours last year.
Yeah, we did 3.
Yeah,
was it 3?
Yeah, we did out west, Western US.
Yeah,
we did that run, and we did the Scandinavia thing.
Yeah.
That was 5 shows, and then the European thing in fall. We did a week of our own shows, and then went on the bus with Lucifer. So,
yeah. What was that like being in a tour bus?
Lucifer and the Night Eternal. The Eternal Party.
So how many? So this is Europe. This is Europe on a tour bus. How many people are on this bus total?
Like 18.
18.
It was like 8. It was a double decker tour bus. So like all of the seats and the little kitchen downstairs and the driver's area, and then you go up the stairs and it's all bunks, just from the front to the back.
Did you guys have the front or the back?
We were in the back, but not the back.
Oh, really?
It was kind of like if you go up the stairs just to the right. So
I like the back. I like the back.
That was Lucifer's. Okay. They got first dibs.
Yeah.
So they had that back in the little back room there, and then
Did the front of the bus on the second level have a lounge in the front?
It was kind of like just like a little 2-seat area with a curtain.
And a little table?
No table. No, it's just the seats, and then you could draw the curtain. So I would go in there and change.
Right, okay.
Sometimes, and then we would chuck some suitcases in there. Yeah.
So how would you compare tour bus life to van and hotel life?
Well, we did the van for like a week before. And I only crashed it once. No, we crashed it twice. we managed to hit something 2 times.
Yeah.
So you know,
you hit something and Keith hit something.
Keith hit something, but I managed to break the back windshield, so that was fun.
I heard about that.
Yeah, I couldn't wait to get out of that van. I was like, I am so over this driving. Yeah, you got to be like a little bit of a truck driver to do the driving thing.
So all of that worry is removed when you get on the bus with another van.
You're right.
I love the tour bus.
You like the tour bus?
You can get into a rhythm, which, and I didn't know this going in. I was a little terrified of getting on a bus with so many people and not having the privacy. And just like, you know how you have to mentally prepare for your, to perform. And I was worried that I wouldn't have that space.
Okay.
But no, I mean, we quickly got into a rhythm of pulling into the venue, just kind of like the day's rhythm.
Right.
And I found it great. It's
definitely nice to wake up and you're at the venue.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're not having to do the drive
you're
to
resting.
The show. Yeah. There are some things that I always miss about having a hotel, though. There's a bathroom.
Hygiene? What do you mean?
Yeah. If you've got 18 people on a tour and there's one shower in a venue. Oftentimes you'll wake up in the morning and you're at the club and the club's not going to be open for another 5-6 hours. So, but these are the trade-offs of it all, right?
We did get a hotel the few times we had the opportunity. I think a couple times where we just wanted an actual shower and a nap, like not in a coffin-sized bed.
It was a good opportunity to familiarize myself with taking a sponge bath.
Well, Russ, you did the tour bus with us in the States on an old school tour bus, right?
I love that.
Yeah, that was cool, right? That was fun.
So.
That was just the 2 bands?
It was the 2 bands, but it wasn't, there's not 18 bunks. There's 12 bunks on a bus like that.
I think I saw the bus,
Yeah. So 2 bands and the crew, and a crazy driver, But that
bus have to be.
But that bus was old and it was falling apart a bit. The microwave didn't work, the refrigerator door swung open all the time. There was a lot of mechanical problems. We had some rough nights in there. And it was very cold in a lot of the places that we went. The European tour buses are just so nice. And
ours was deluxe.
Yeah.
Ours was great.
Yeah, they're really nice, and they have, they switch drivers out when they go into overtime and stuff. Out here it's drivers overtime, more money, hell yeah, strap on in everybody. Just give me some of that. I'm gonna just do a little speed.
Oh
no problem. I gotta stay awake.
terrifying.
Yeah, it's just the Wild West, right? But Europe, they really do it right. Did you guys ever see? Did you ever go into like the driver's like sleeping cabin?
I think I saw it. It's kind of like behind.
So underneath the back, the back bunks, the back room at the top.
Yes.
So right by the staircase,
it was like tiny.
They have a little crawl space, but
it's like a little closet.
Yeah, but you go in there, it's like a full-on apartment. Like, so this is happening on the tour bus. You don't even know it's there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. You probably didn't see it.
Yeah. It's like a little crawl space they have to crawl into, but if you go in there, it's pretty nice. So, yeah, they do it right in Europe. And I'm glad you guys got to have that experience on the tour bus.
That was a lot of fun. It was just so fun to be with the other bands as well and get to know them as just like people, but honestly, watching the same bands perform every night for the time that we were with them, I found very interesting.
Yeah.
It was just a constant learning experience.
Absolutely. And like, even if you're not a fan of the band or you don't know much about them, usually by the end of a tour like that, like you've heard their stuff so much and you're like, okay, I get what's going on.
Yeah.
And then the tour ends and it's sad because like you've had this connection with certain people, and then you're just like, it's like it's like signing the yearbook at the end of the school year.
Totally.
And it's like, like best friends forever,
I know.
And then it's like you realize, man, I'm probably never going to hang out with these people again unless maybe we'll see each other at a festival or something,
right. Yeah.
Sometimes you make bonds with people that last, but it's always like, it doesn't matter how much time goes in between. When you see those people, you always have that connection.
You have that bond.
You're like, we were out there like warriors together and like we went.
It's a big deal and it's meaningful.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I love the camaraderie of touring packages.
Yeah.
I mean, it's, if everybody's cool, sometimes all it takes is one bad person to be like, man, this sucks.
Yeah, you got to have some easygoing, chill people.
I mean, that's the way we are nowadays. We would rather just tour with bands that we like. We don't even care if they're like not as good as like the other band that wants to
Just get the people you want to hang out with. Really, you're going to be on the road.
Exactly.
Day in, day out.
I mean, bands, the personnel in bands now are much cooler way cooler than in the 80s.
You think so?
Yeah.
You think
that people were uptight back then?
Yeah, you always hear
acting out the whole time.
Right. You always hear about like headliners in the 80s like sabotaging their openers. Like unplugging the power, not letting them use the full PA, pushing them off to the side of the stage. It was like the competition back then was crazy, and I think it was a lot of like, the labels controlled a lot of the touring then, so they would put these touring packages together, and it's like the business model has completely switched. So back then it was you toured to sell records. That's why the labels always put the money into the touring. We're going to put this band on tour. Like, we don't care. We're going to spend all the money to do it because we're going to sell these albums,
That's
right?
The whole point of
now, the album is a promotional tool to go check out the band live.
Yeah.
So the band can make some money.
Yeah.
Right? The album is just a tour poster.
When when you break it down in that way, that's de facto how it is.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, absolutely. So speaking of, you guys are currently working on another album.
Yeah. And Russ keeps coming over so that we can work. We've been working in Keith's basement studio.
Nice.
So he's got a whole setup in his studio. He's got the drums. He's got the microphone. He's got everything. And so we can just like brainstorm and try out ideas.
It's been amazing.
It's been really fun. This is the first time that we haven't done, all the writing remote, pretty much.
Yeah.
We would do some writing, like Russ and I would sit together and do some stuff, but a lot of it was just sending files before.
I love technology that you could do that.
Yeah.
But there's nothing like the in-person.
Completely different experience.
Yeah.
Completely different.
I mean, we've been doing this podcast for 250 weeks in a row.
Wow.
We've never done interviews. But I wanted to take the next couple months to do this with people that I really like and people that I think our fans need to hear about, But I didn't want to do any Zoom interviews. So I've just been flying all over the world to set these up.
Oh, I love that.
So it's much better, even though there's the noise of construction here. But you got to have, you know what I'm saying? It's cool to do a Zoom to talk to somebody, but
this is so much better.
Yeah.
This is like hanging out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's just to really get the vibe and be like, in Brooklyn with a Brooklyn band.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Plus, I feel like we never get to see you.
Yeah.
Like, you're always busy.
I'm around.
Zooming around.
Hey, you want a hot dog?
Yeah. But anyway, all right. It was really good talking to you guys and catching up. And I'm excited for everything that's going to come, and the way that Mr. Tippins is writing, the speed that he writes at. I know we're gonna hear a lot more from the band. So
yeah.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jarvis.
begging to strike.
Well, that's it for this week and the Tanith interview. As always, I'll mention to check out nightdemon.net, where you can find out about how to become a Night Demon subscriber. And what's that? A Night Demon subscriber has access to the subscriber section, which is an area of the website with hundreds of live audio files, unreleased tracks, photo galleries, bonus episodes, all things Night Demon. Check out nightdemon.net for more info. Until next week, this is Nesbitt signing off.
Thanks for listening to the Night Demon Heavy Metal Podcast. Head over to nightdemon.net, click on the subscriber tab, and sign up to access exclusive weekly bonus content. If you would like to donate to support the Night Demon Heavy Metal Podcast, you can do so through PayPal at paypal.me/nightdemonmetal. Additionally, if you have not already done so, please subscribe, like, rate, and review the show on iTunes or wherever you listen to podcasts.
All hail, Night Demon Heavy Metal Podcast listeners. This is Dusty Squires chiming in to tell you about my brand new signature sticks from the London Drumstick Company. I've dreamt of having my very own drumsticks ever since I was a wee lad, and LDC made that a possibility for me. Founded in 2016 in London, England, the birthplace of heavy metal, the London Drumstick Company has trailblazed a path through the music industry and taken the drummer world by storm. When I met them for the first time, they knew their product was going to withstand the beatings of a Night Demon show. They took the time to work with me on getting everything just right. The balance and weight of my sticks are the same no matter what, and the durability is bar none the best I've ever had. I know my sticks will last through the set night after night. I'm truly honored to work with a company that caters to their players the way LDC does. Their innovation and attention to detail is what separates them from the rest of the stick makers out there. Their custom stick sleeves are unbelievable and really make the entire presentation complete. Wait until you see the design they came up with for me. It blew my mind and was a surprise to say the least. They have all kinds of amazing swag, including hoodies, t-shirts, drummer shorts, drum keys, stick bags, towels, face masks, practice pads, and much, much more. Even if you're not a drummer, you can be a part of Demon history and order my brand new signature sticks direct from their website. How cool is that? And to top it off, the London Drumstick Company are giving an exclusive offer to the Night Demon Heavy Metal Podcast listeners. Go to londondrumsticks.co.uk and receive a 15% store-wide discount using promo code DEMONSTICKS. All capital letters, no spaces, Demon Sticks. DEMONSTICKS. I can't thank everyone there enough for the opportunity to be a part of their family and for them trusting me with their amazing products. See you metal maniacs on the road very soon. And yes, the wood chips will be flying.
Greetings, boils and ghouls. This is your comrade, the Crypt Keeper here, reporting dead from the sanctuary of the strange. Tonight's macabre myth is a fright-filled feature, one overflowing with monsters, madness, and magic.
Visit our website at monstersmadnessandmagic.com to stay up to date on all the dark dealings within the sanctuary of the strange. Enjoy the show.
Hey Metalheads, I'm Mark and I host the Metal Forge. Let me tell you about the show. The Metal Forge features the best underground metal from all over the world. We spend every week with a different artist with interviews, in-depth conversations, and most of all, the music. We also feature audience interactivity where you can submit your questions to the upcoming guests. New episodes are out every Friday at noon Eastern Time at metalforgeradio.com or wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Want to know what's going on in the world of music? Then tune in to the Nothing Shocking Podcast, a non-genre based, all-ages friendly rock and roll program. Join us weekly for interviews with all your favorite rock stars from the mainstream to the underground. You can find us at nothingshocking.libsyn.com or anywhere you download podcasts.
Okay, Metalheads, you've been complaining that there has not been a channel that plays all of the heavy metal videos from past, present, and future for years and years at this point. Well, that time is over. Heavy Metal Television is back. HeavyMetalTelevision.net is the website. Go there. You can see videos playing 24/7, 365, all the time. All the best from the old school, the new school, and everything in between. Check it out, HeavyMetalTelevision.net. It is where the metal is.